Assalamu alaikum everyone. Hope you're all doing well. It's Zeynab here and we're back for another Ramadan Talks series. So today I'm here joined with amazing Melbourne girls. I'm here with Amana and Hanan. And today we're going to be discussing reflections during Ramadan and gearing up for Eid al-Fitr. So before we jump into that, how's everyone's Ramadan going?
I feel like it's been an amazing experience so far, and I feel like I've grown so much. I feel like I've been consciously putting in effort to make sure that my prayers and Quran recitation was consistent. I also went to our first ever prayer at a mosque at Elton, so that was a really exciting experience. And I went with my cousin, and the vibes were just amazing, like seeing everyone and all the women like praying together. It felt like such a calm and peaceful experience as well, so that was really interesting. And also, other than that, I'm just like, helping my mum with iftar, cooking up new dishes. Me and my cousins just like every day, like decide what we're gonna make for iftar, and then we recreate those. And so far as well, studying in Ramadan, it's been a challenge. Like most people, I'm sure listening today would feel that studying in Ramadan, it is a struggle, but alhamdulillah and inshallah, it all works through well.
Yeah, no, I feel you with that, especially with the whole kitchen situation. It's like my kitchen rolls in the when it comes to Ramadan. Everyone's just in the kitchen trying to see who cooks the best dish, and then the best one gets put on Eid. It's like especially with the desserts.
Yeah, literally.
But yeah, how about you, Hanan?
Well, Ramadan for me has always been an incredible experience, but I have to say that this Ramadan has been the most Ramadan. And that's a mouthful, but I literally always say that every year, but every Ramadan feels a bit more Ramadan than the last for me, because I'm constantly growing and implementing new habits with every Ramadan that comes past. Mm-hmm. So I know there was a lot of Ramadans in there, but I hope you get the point. But genuinely, my favorite experiences so far throughout this Ramadan has just been spending time with the community, family and friends. So I've been going to a lot of iftars hosted by friends, family and different Islamic societies in Melbourne. Making an effort to go to Tarawih every night with my friends and build this beautiful habit together. Going to the local night markets. But, what I'm actually looking forward to most is actually my first ever support out tomorrow.
Ooh, that's so exciting. That's so exciting.
Yes, and the thing is, support has never been like something that's been like, it's good, like you eat before you fast. But usually if I wake up for support, I get out of bed, I'm like 80% asleep, mindlessly walking to the fridge, just munching something down before I start like Fajr. But tomorrow it's just going to be a vibe, and I'm so excited. So yeah, that's my Ramadan so far.
Not good. Now you're making me miss it.
I might need a half on that, especially with the support.
Yeah, I think we need to.
Yeah, because the night markets, I get you with that. I went to the camel a week ago.
How was that?
Guys, it was 10 the camel burgers. Oh, amazing! They were so good. They were so good.
Do you feel like it was chewy?
It wasn't that chewy. I did it so well.
Really?
They did it so well. It's in like the textures in between like beef and chicken. I don't know how to explain it.
Oh my god!
Like it's not like as chewy as like you get like from like a goat's meat. Like, it's not as chewy, but it's like camel sauce that they put with it. Guys, it was chef's kiss.
You've actually inspired me. Like I literally went around scouting my friend group. I was like, "Come on, let's go swimming for a day with us." But honestly, how was the Kunafa though? Because I always see that on my For You page.
Guys, unpopular opinion. I'm not a Kunafa fan. Yeah, so I'm not a Kunafa fan, but it was like the Moroccan style one, so it wasn't that, like, it was nice, but I'm just not a fan. Like, you can't convince me to have cheese as a dessert.
No, see, that was my thoughts, right? But I went to Saudi, and literally, I was like, look, it doesn't sound nice, but this is an Arab country I'm in. This is like, it's a culture. One thing about cultural foods, it's a cultural staple for a reason. Like, it had to pass the standard. And it was amazing, and it's like, I've been craving it ever since. So, I don't know. This Saudi didn't have that experience. Well,
I'm sorry, guys. It was me. But, everything that you guys have been saying is actually really inspiring. Especially with how you guys are saying you're trying to connect to the community and how you're trying to connect with the Tarawih prayers as well.
Yeah.
So what are some ways you guys notice yourself growing throughout this month as well? So, Amanda, did you want to lead us with this one maybe?
So the personal growth journey that I've been going through this Ramadan is basically spending time with my family. I feel like being able to spend time with my family is such an important aspect of Ramadan. And in general, regardless of the work and studying that I do throughout Ramadan or in general outside, I feel like this is the time to, be spending time with your family and creating meaningful relationships with others instead of scrolling on social media. And I feel like also another important thing this Ramadan that I've learned is that make sure you look after your health. By drinking lots of water, taking your vitamins and eating healthy, I feel like it's such an important aspect to help, sustain and make sure that your Ramadan goes smoothly. And also one thing too, especially the students that are listening today, make sure you don't pressurize yourself in doing extreme amounts of work. Take one step at a time, because it's important to, relax your brain as well. You've been fasting for a long time, so I feel like just taking one step at a time would just help you, and like making sure that you're getting the most out of your Ramadan and your studies as well. And inshallah, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will appreciate your efforts and help you.
Inshallah. What about you, Hanan? Like, what are some spiritual ones you can think of?
Oh, okay. Good question. So, okay. Starting back from last Ramadan. Okay, so at the end of something I've started to realize growing up is that Ramadan doesn't just stop with Ramadan. Like, you've got to actually reflect, look on what you've improved on and what needs work. And I think one thing I realized last Ramadan was that, yes, I was ticking off all the things that I need to be completing, but I wasn't actually mindful and conscious of the way I was doing it. So it took a while, but I started to learn and figure out ways that I can do that. And one of the biggest things was actually being aware of what I'm saying and what it means. So in prayer, supplication, saying things like, okay, Allahu Akbar, everyone knows, God is great, but things like Subhana Rabbil A'la or Subhana Rabbil Azim, or, every other supplication you say in prayer, that is something that we always do in our day-to-day, but what does it actually mean? And I think once I sat down one day, looked at some YouTube videos, wrote it down in my book and started to try and consciously remember what they mean, it's completely changed the way I pray. And I think stepping into Ramadan with those habits has changed it completely. And I'm so used to seeing that growth there was amazing for me. But where I go to Tarawih, they have actually started something where they project the tafsir of the surahs they recite in Tarawih every single night on the board. And that's been extremely helpful, because Tarawih is it's not a challenge, but it's a challenge in the sense that of staying focused and not distracted, because Tarawih is 20 rak'ats, 16 rak'ats. It's so long. And as people, especially Gen Z, our attention span is just so bad. So, I'm always I find myself always getting distracted until I'm having to put myself back in the zone. But having that to sit up at my local mosque and following along as he recites and hearing the power and what Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is saying, and also understanding it, it's almost emotional. It's really beautiful. And I think that's one way that I appreciate in terms of my growth from last Ramadan to this Ramadan. Another big thing that I've changed this Ramadan is how I consume media. So obviously Ramadan, it's a long day, especially when you're fasting. And sometimes, guys, I know we're all guilty of watching our shows to pass the time, but I've managed to find other interests that I'd like to take time to dedicate. So I've recently started taking Islamic studies classes this year. So topics like fiqh, Sirah, Aqidah, all those kind of topics, have started to pique my interest heavily. So I've gone into my local Islamic bookstore. I've purchased a lot of Islamic books on Sunnah and Islamic legislation, Sirah, and it's just instead of just binge watching shows, not just binge watching shows, I've been reading, and it hasn't been hard because I actually do enjoy the topics. It's a niche that I've found myself to have taken an interest in. I'm not gonna lie, realistically I do want a squad here and there.
Oh yeah, 100%. Gotta represent.
Exactly. But I'm really proud of the way I've been able to cut down on the episode, like on the shows I'm watching in the media, I'm watching and replacing that for books, specifically funded books. But yeah.
Wow, mashallah, that's actually such an amazing thing you're doing.
Thank you.
It's like one of my biggest challenges is like, I hate reading.
Oh, yeah.
With a passion. Some people say they have a passion for reading. Yeah. I have a dislike. I have a hatred towards it. And like, for me, like a challenge that I had was getting closer to my deen, but how am I going to do it if I hate reading?
Yeah.
And I guess like Islamic shows, Islamic studies and like lectures have been a way for me, I guess, to connect. The way you said with tafsir and stuff, for me, I watch videos of people explaining it in depth and actually going into the meaning of why our Prophet was saying ma ummah, ma ummah, ma ummah.
Yeah.
And like, you hear the cries and the reason why, like, as I said, with Gen Z, attention span is just go down and down and down. I say right now, like, the attention span is like 3 seconds for a person.
Oh, wow.
So
that's less than a goldfish.
It is. Oh, it is less than a goldfish, like, which says a lot. So like, for me, just connecting in a way that works for me is something that was a bigger challenge for me. And I guess this Ramadan itself, I found that way was watching, like, I guess the Prophet stories, and then here and there slowly moving into like the lectures, and then going to watch those lectures in person as well was something for me, I guess I could say, like, helped.
I have a question. So, like, you mentioned that you're a big audio, like, listener when it comes to consuming Islamic knowledge and content. I actually wanted to hear from you. What are your favorite, like, podcasts to listen to? Because I'm also a big podcast girl.
I have some recommendations.
Okay, mine I can give, because my ones, they're not names, but I know how they look. I know how the people look, and I just watch it with my mom.
No, fair enough. Yeah.
But with the podcast aspect of it, it's just like on Spotify, I'll put in here and there like what I'm trying to listen to.
Yeah.
Look if it's like 100% good and podcasts. This generation of podcasts, they're not the best.
Yeah.
I look into them before I actually watch them. And for me, if I'm just trying to find general knowledge, some say like it's not good to just go and watch anyone. But for me, my go-to like basic knowledge, just foundation knowledge is Mufti Mank. Like, he can relate to the Gen Z in a way that we can actually understand it. Yeah. So for me, it's just starting off was Mufti Mank, and then I moved into I can't remember his name. Oh my god,
Suleiman.
I did. Umar Suleiman was one I was actually watching, and then after that, I actually started to watch Isra, like lectures.
Isra Academy.
Yes.
Okay.
So YouTube. Not just on YouTube, but like from previous times we had like camps and seminars and stuff. I had like a few recordings from the parts where I actually wanted to remember. Yeah. So I would look back at that. And then here and there my mom would like give me the lectures as well. Of course you can't do that with the parents. But it was there, like when my mom gave me the lectures as well, I was like, okay, I'll go to my local mosque, Jummah khutbah, I'll listen to that, and then from there if they have like a class, some mosque they do, I would just go sit and listen to it, and I just take notes. And especially with my community, we have like lectures happening Tuesdays, Thursdays, Fridays, Saturdays, and Sundays for like the elder people. Yeah, I don't really join that; it's online, that one, but I don't have the attention span at 10 p.m. for that. Yeah, but those are like my go-tos, and I just take a little notebook and just write what I can. So I'm not a reader, but I'll write what I hear.
I love that.
Much, yeah.
I was gonna say that Omar Salaman. It's really good. I've been listening to it for a couple of days now, and I just like learned so much, and especially the Why Me series that Omar Salaman's doing, right? And those ones, and I've just been listening to them, and they've been amazing. I like to listen to like ones that talk about regret, and like people like think that why did this happen to me? They always like think that they're the ones that are being punished by Allah, but like the way Allah's showing it is that it's a test. Yeah, and they're just like showing that how are you approaching the test that has been given to you? And I feel like also in that lecture I realized that if Allah has written something, whatever's meant to be is meant to be. Exactly. In life, whether it be like a test result, or getting into like a specific course, let's say medicine, dentistry, or getting a certain internship, or whether it be like choosing a partner and like your future careers and life. I feel like whatever's meant to be, whatever's in your destiny, whatever Allah has written as your rizq, that is basically what's going to happen. And inshallah, the only way you can change it, you physically can't, but the only way you can change it is through making dua. And I feel like one thing that I'd really made sure to put effort into is making dua, because I've heard, obviously, a lot of time everyone's like, oh, dua is the only way you can change things. You can change your destiny that's been written by Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And I maybe did know it, but I probably didn't actively put an effort into it. So I feel like this Ramadan, I'm just like, let me just give it a go and see how it goes. And like, you know, like talk to him and say whatever I'm feeling, like, and put me a part of how I get over it. And so that's what I've been trying to do, and I think it's going alright. Yeah, I think it is.
If you personally think it, then it's probably going
100%.
Like, if you can recognize it within yourself, then that's for sure.
Especially because as people, we're so critical on ourselves. So if we're able to recognize that, like, that's just,
Yeah, basically, I feel like it's mostly in terms of studying, and like, since I'm in my final year, I feel like I'm just like, you know, how am I going to do this final year? There's so much effort in studying. Final year especially, so I feel like I'm just like, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, please let me get good. But slowly I feel like getting into a routine and like doing that. I feel like maybe I think my du'as are getting accepted, but let's see throughout the Ramadan and everything how it goes and everything. I haven't done my test yet, but let's see how it goes. Inshallah.
All the best with your finals.
Thank you.
And one thing I will say is there's this one ayah in the Quran, I just remember the chapter number was 94 verse I think 5 and 6 or 4 and 5. It's like very with hardship comes ease, and that verse resonates within me, because as you said, everyone questions why me. Everyone says like, why this challenge coming towards me? But at the end of the day, like, without these challenges, what are we going to be doing in our life? Just keep on going, and you're gonna get sick of life. I feel like without no challenges, you can't really continue going anywhere. And it's challenges that push a person as well. So like they say, mistakes are proof that you're trying. Challenges are proof that you're like going, like keep on going. That's one thing I would say as well. But yeah, so with that one, I'm going to bring us to our third question. So we are nearing the end of Ramadan. SubhanAllah.
Time just flew.
Yeah, and I just want to ask, how are you guys preparing for either Fitr or should I say the Met Gala? The Met Gala. So I'll pass on to Hanan.
Okay.
So you can give us a little glimpse of your Fitr.
You can see, okay, you said Met Gala and now I'm stressing because I haven't got my Eid outfit yet. And I do this literally every single year, and I'm like to myself, Hanan, we've got to be more prepared, but never happens. But like, dude, what about you guys? So you guys pretty like on top of your each other?
After coming back from Sydney, I'm set. I found my shit.
Oh wow!
I've got my henna booked. I've got everything booked. This is an upgrade from last week. Last week I was lost. I went to Sydney. I was found. That's what it was.
All in a day.
All in a day. And like, Sydney has more moist clothing than Melbourne, because Melbourne does have a few, but they're pretty hard to find. And the ones that you do find these days, they're just the prices.
It is online is crazy. So it's not even like you can go online like easily. Like you go online, but like you've got to understand that online they charge a lot more than what they do in person. But
that is so true.
I'm so glad you're going to eat for ready. Like that piece. I mean, literally.
What colour are you wearing this year?
Surprise.
Okay.
You guys see me take a photo and I'll send it to the group chat and I'll be like, look at me. The one Eid that I was actually ready. No, but honestly, like, I'm never this ready for Eid. Most of the times, if I do order my like fit, it comes the night before.
Oh wow.
And I'm risky like that. Like, I really risk it like that. Because worst case scenario, because it is sunnah to wear, like, you know, new piece of clothing. And I try to put it in practice as much as I can. But if it doesn't work, it doesn't work. And I don't really try and force it too much. But what about you, Amona? Like, for your Eid, like, what does it mean to you? And what do you guys like prepare as well?
Okay. So I feel like for Eid al-Fitr, since I'm Bengali, so in my household we get ready in our Eid clothes and then we go to our cousin's house for our Eid breakfast. And then we eat traditional Bengali sweets that my auntie makes. So these include like firni, which is called a rice pudding in Bangla. And we also eat these like savory dishes such as beef tahari, and which is a rice dish.
Yeah.
And there's also this really one of my favorite Bengali dishes that I eat. It's called fuchka. So basically, it's like a shell. I think of it as a nacho shell,
Yeah.
a circle nacho shell, and then you fill it with chickpeas.
Is it like pani puri?
It's kind of like pani puri, but like more flavor, chickpeas, and yeah, I feel like it's the best.
Aman, I'm so sorry to cut you off, but you're going to have to send me your address because I'm pulling up to your house.
Yes, same. Party.
Yes,
Yes. I'm gonna tell all my friends to come over.
Literally, open invite.
Well, like, yeah, so it's basically a nacho shell, a type crispy shell in a circle, and you fill it with spiced chickpeas, tamarind water, yogurt if you want, chilies, cucumber, whatever, the lot, basically, and it's pop it in your mouth, and the crisps, and the spices, it just all melts together.
Oh my god.
Yeah.
And we're fasting too.
Yeah. Oh my god, you got me the textures. I'm big
Yeah,
textures.
no, it's really good.
Really? You're a texture person?
I love textures.
I hate textures.
No, but it depends because surely you have to like some.
Do you like
textures.
lychee?
Oh yes, I do. Yeah.
Lychee's yum.
Oh my god.
Have you tried lychee, the lychee drinks?
Let's bring it back maybe to like a routine that you have maybe Hanan during like Eid. Like,
Okay.
do you guys like nap? Do you have like family coming over? Like, yeah, it was like living Southall.
Easy peasy. So okay, the thought of it alone is stressing me out. But deep cleaning, it is. Oh my god! Like I
Hate it.
hate it. You know what Zeynab said the other day? That really stuck with me. Right? For iftars when we have guests over, like it's cleaning like there's no tomorrow. But Eid cleaning, it doesn't even. That's not even a dent compared to Eid cleaning.
No speck of dust left behind. Oh,
Exactly.
so-
Exactly.
it's so like time consuming. It's so and like your energy's gone already by the end of the night,
Yeah.
and then you're just still thinking.
have to wake up for Eid the next day. It's just like you're cleaning until like what 1 a.m. and then it's just like, where's the sleep gone?
Yeah, 100%.
No, exactly. And you know what? Talking about sleep, like by the time you guys have been finished cleaning my house, like I'm ready to knock out, right? I get into bed, but the excitement
Of Eid?
of Eid,
Yes, yes.
no sleep.
No sleep.
And it's like that with everyone in my house.
Yeah.
No sleep. And then morning, getting ready, whatnot. And I'm fully ready to pop out, go to the mosque. But hold up. My mum whips out her camera.
Oh yes, the sound of fairness, yeah.
That just don't finish.
And they don't even turn out good some of the
They
times.
don't. They don't.
Just what overseas families showing it to them and saying, guys, Eid Mubarak from our family to yours.
So then there's that, going to the mosque, and we do this thing, my family, we're on the way in the car, we recite the labbaik together. It's really cute, started from childhood, and we continue doing it ever since. And then obviously, breakfast at my grandparents.
Yeah.
The most immaculate food ever. You'll see every single food from the Somali cuisine and more.
Even what I
Even Malala. Even Malala. And trust like it's demolished in 2 seconds, the whole platter.
I trust you with that one, don't
Yeah,
worry.
100%. And then obviously like as the girls of my family, like the older girls, we've kind of like gotten past the point of visiting like my mom's friends and stuff because we're not children. We don't have to tag along for like
you have a
people that
license.
we don't really know. Yeah, exactly. We've got licenses too. So like we just hit at my auntie's house. We chuck on some comfy barties. We hit the hay, and you don't see us till 5-6 p.m. that night.
Yeah.
Where we were getting ready. We're going out to go eat some good food in the city. You know, do like just fun stuff. Like I remember last day we just went on electric scooters all night, and we were just riding on the streets of Melbourne. No GPS, just going at it. We're just speeding, having races on the streets, and it's like it was literally vibes. You guys have to do it, especially if you're going out at night in the city. Vibes, but. Look, okay, it's kind of sad, but like now that I'm reminiscing about all this with you guys, one thing that makes Eid for me is my family, and this is going to be the first kind of Eid where, not the first, but one of the first where majority of my family isn't in Australia anymore. Yeah, so for reference, okay, you guys are going to die, but...
Oh no, here's this going. Where's this going?
My mum is 24/7.
MashaAllah. Oh my
24 siblings.
Oh my, mashallah.
Yeah. And my dad has 15.
I can't imagine the amount of cousins you have.
Insane. Probably well over 200. Yep, exactly. And the thing is, with every one of those aunties and uncles, each have about like 7 to 10 kids. So I genuinely only know a handful of my cousins. Yes. And again, I don't really know all of them. Everyone's all over the world: Germany, Canada, America, Somalia, Australia. We're all over. So
You've got someone everywhere, basically.
Yeah, basically.
That's so cool.
Exactly. And so by Australia, my mum's got 8. My dad has 9 here.
Why are you saying that like it's nothing? Like she's got 8.
Oh my god, that's like a lot. Compared to me, I only have like 1.
Really? I mean,
Like as in like first cousin. Yeah. Yeah.
See, my mom has like 9 siblings. My dad only has, I think, 6.
Actually, now 2 because one of them came from up actually here, so 2.
What? Everyone else is in, I'm assuming, Bangladesh.
Yeah.
None of them are here for my first cousins. I have none here, but my community is so big. Everyone is basically because of us.
That's
So
Yeah, no, I love that.
But that's like a big change for you, though. Like,
Exactly, it's a massive change, especially because like of the 8, some of my aunties and uncles, they're married. So between that and my mum, there's 30 kids. Well, I'm not really a kid, and some of us aren't really kids, but we'll just say kids, because if I say offspring, it's just a bit weird.
yeah.
So with my siblings, who left last year, and my auntie who actually left a few weeks ago, she's moved to Saudi Arabia. That then goes from 30 of us to 20 of us. Which is still a lot.
That's a change.
Yeah, you feel the difference, especially when that 10 that are leaving are all little kids.
Oh,
So yeah, it's gonna feel very adult this age.
Yeah.
It's not gonna be as loud.
The innocent child
Exactly.
running around.
Oh my god, the twins are now the point. Oh my god, I can't do lolly bags this year. Where's
Oh!
my kids? Well, there are kids, but not as many.
You know what?
If
If there's not many kids, go to the mosque, just give them out.
100%.
I feel like that's the go-to.
Yes, yeah, 100%. Yeah, so
But yeah, that sounds amazing though. But that's also so sad.
yeah.
But this is so weird to end it up on this note. So instead of ending it like this kind of tone, let's just like, Ramadan is really a time to like reflect and grow, and it's also a time to, I guess, celebrate like the month where the Quran was revealed. And before we wrap up today, I just want to ask, like, in one sentence, what are your final thoughts, and what would you give off to someone? Like, what would you tell someone about Ramadan? So maybe we'll start with Amana.
Yeah, sure. So for Ramadan, I feel like just make sure that, you're reflecting on yourself and making sure that, you're doing your prayers and reading your Quran, even though, like, you're struggling beforehand, but, like, just, like, keep it consistent and, like, put in the intention that you're actually wanting to improve. So if you improve and have the intention, inshallah, it will all go well. And final thoughts, I feel like I wanted to say, hopefully everyone has a lovely Eid with their family and friends as well. And inshallah, may Allah accept all your fasts, du'as and prayers this Ramadan. And inshallah, all the good habits that you've done throughout this Ramadan, hopefully you establish and like continue throughout Ramadan after it's finished as well. And also, I just want to say thank you to the Youth Nexus team as well for having me as their guest speaker on this podcast. It was an amazing discussion. I had so much fun speaking to you guys and talking about our culture as well.
Yeah.
And yeah, thank you so much, Zeynab and Hanan.
We were so grateful to have you here. Maybe Hanan can give us a sentence as well.
So Ramadan's always a beautiful time of the year, but this Ramadan thought that sits with me most. It is just about how grateful we should be that we have it a lot easier than what we think in terms of Ramadan and being a family, a community. But when we look at places like Palestine, for example, and especially Palestine, like they're going through Ramadan right now, and it's extremely difficult on their part. And I don't know if you guys have seen, but literally a few days ago, I just saw a post about how there was this family having iftar with cooked grass, donkey food turned into like a makeshift bread and lemon, and it just broke my heart. I think we all just need to remember to keep Palestine in our like prayers, that's our eyes. I mean, we are one ummah at the end of the day. If there's Muslims that are hurting out there, we should feel that hurt as well, and just remember to keep them in our eyes. so on and so
May
forth.
Allah make it easy.
May Allah make me easy. I mean, honestly. But yeah, genuinely, thank you so much to the Youth Nexus team and to you, Zeynab, for inviting me out here on today's podcast episode.
Yeah, a privilege to have you guys here. Like, as you said about the one ummah, like, this is the ummah that the Prophet cried for. So, at least make yourself, like, accountable, hold yourself accountable, and make your du'as if you can't even do much, you know? And there's always something that someone can do.
100%.
But, yeah. And with that, I do also want to say, backing off with Amana, how you said your habits, it takes 30 days for a habit to form. Ramadan is 29 to 30 days. Inshallah, those days that you've actually used to control yourself and have these habits can continue, inshallah.
Inshallah.
And yeah, so I just want to say thank you all for such a wonderful conversation as well. And as we wrap up today's episode, I want to thank you guys all for tuning in. If you're interested in being a part of this team or having any ideas, feel free to contact us the email or our website through the link to the bio. And yeah, this is your host, Zeynab, signing off with Amana and Hanan. And I hope to see you guys in next Ramadan with the next podcast, inshallah. Assalamu alaikum.
Assalamu alaikum.
Assalamu alaikum.